Hi everyone. In today's video, I took on a playful color palette card challenge of raw sienna and burnt sienna and indigo. And using a mix of watercolors, neocolor, crayons, micron pens, and shimmering gold paint, I layered, doodled, and experimented with bold mark making. The result, a joyful little collection of unique, colorful abstracts that will absolutely make you smile. So go ahead and grab your favorite brushes. This is my whole box here, and pick through. I believe I only use a couple of brushes on this. 2 colors, burnt sienna and indigo, and you can also use some raw sienna, but just keep it simple. So what I have here is a sheet of 12 by I think 16 or 18. Anyways, I broke it up into 12 squares, 3.5 by 3.25. And you can barely see my tape there, but it is taped in squares. And what I'm pulling out right now are the Chromatech watercolor pens. And this is the dark gray. So I'm just doing a line over the entire sheet and just kind of not worrying about what I'm doing, just laying down some shapes. So here's a light gray. I'm experimenting at this point because I just got these Chromatech watercolor. I don't know what you'd call them. But yeah, the jury's still out on these. I haven't quite figured out how to use them yet. And if you've used them, drop me a note. Give me some tips. Love to hear it. Anyway, so we're going to move on here and try another one. So I'm just kind of squiggling all over the place. Doing something like this sort of brings out the child in us, you know, because when you were a kid, you didn't worry really about what you were doing. You didn't stay inside the lines. Well, you know, as we got older, we got to paint inside the lines, right? But this allows you to go over the lines, which is kind of cool. So here's my set of paints, and I just wet my indigo, and I'm going to dip in the indigo and give it just a real wet brush, but it's pretty intense indigo on there, and I'm just kind of wiggling it all over the place. So just have fun with it, and don't worry about the outcome, not yet. Be a kid. So we're just enjoying the process at this point. As you can see, I'm just taking the paint directly from the palette. I'm getting some water on my brush, get it good and wet so I can get some different values here. And interestingly enough, this is really weird. The Chromatech underneath there, the lines that I drew, especially the blue ones, they reacted like a resist, which was kind of different. It was as if I had used a wax crayon, and when I painted the indigo on top, it pushed away. So I'm not sure about that, what the deal is. So here I'm using my dagger brush to make some lines and more squiggles. We're just kind of experimenting and laying down marks in this stage. So here I'm checking out my other paints. All right, I'm digging out my burnt sienna and my raw sienna. You can see them side by side there. The raw sienna is a touch more yellow. I kind of use more of the burnt sienna. I like the richness of the color, and you can water it down too, so make it lighter. Here I'm adding a little bit of peacock blue, but I didn't use it very much. I used mostly the indigo. Now, if you don't have indigo, you can also use Payne's Gray instead, and it works just fine. I couldn't find my Payne's Gray, so we got indigo. I'm laying down some lighter indigo right now. It's a bit more watered, and some of it the burnt sienna has wandered into. So it gives you kind of a greenish kind of color there. So now I'm starting with the burnt sienna and the raw sienna and just kind of putting it down all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to this, guys. You just start doing it. Start laying down some color here, there, and everywhere, wherever the intuition kind of strikes. And yeah, it's a weird feeling because you're like, well, I don't know how this is going to turn out. And all right, I'm going to forge forward. Keep doing it. And amazingly, it turns into something, which is kind of a miracle for me. Because, you know, I'm nervous too when I start a project like this, and especially when I'm doing a video for you all. I get nervous and I think, oh my God, did I pick the right colors? Oh, is this going to turn out right? You know, the internal critic starts going bananas. So just forge ahead is the mantra, and enjoy the process. So I'm just kind of putting that burnt sienna all over the place. And of course I waited to for the first layer to dry, which was the indigo. So I made sure that was nice and dry before I started painting the burnt sienna on. So keep that in mind, because if you're going to run your wet burnt sienna into the indigo, it will have green undertones, unless that's what you want. And you could get some blooms too. So here's the raw sienna, which is a very lighter color. Now I'm back to the burnt sienna over top of it. Didn't care for the raw sienna. Just remember, there are no rules in art. You just kind of go with the flow. So see, I'm painting outside the lines, right over top of my tape. You can barely see the tape because on this painting, I just like paint over the whole thing. And then at the end, we'll pull the tape off and you have all these magical little pieces. They're so cool. I have sped this up a little bit. Not a whole lot, but oh. And yes, you can go in and layer more indigo over your existing indigo, which creates some interesting layers. So you get a lighter indigo underneath that's faded, and then you can strengthen it up. So I'm just using my one brush and I will list all my tools and paints in the description. But there's not many because I'm actually just using a couple of brushes and 3 paints. That's it. Pretty easy peasy. I actually like this color combo. They actually, burnt sienna and indigo are actually complements of each other. So that's why they kind of work very well. And the design pops. Doing mark making, just using the tip of my brush. You can get some great marks just from using your brush. Makes me think of pigeons over there. Laying down the indigo, filling in spots, layering over top, doing some marks over top. So far we've just used the watercolor paints. Later on, I will be using a acrylic gold, which is a fun one to play with. It's all about layering. Just keep piling on top. And remember, start with your lightest colors underneath and start layering up from there. I'm using a pencil here, do some tiny marks, and now I grabbed a stencil and I'm rubbing it with some white gouache. Didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to. This particular square, I had a lot of trouble with it. It just, I don't know, it just didn't work. So 1 out of the 12 is not bad, I guess. Most of them turned out pretty good. So I kind of smudged off the white I put on with the stencil, and then I'm laying down some more indigo on there. It's an ongoing battle. It's the funniest thing. You can do a whole bunch of paintings on one sheet and just one of them will just be weird. Okay, so now I'm adding some of the Chinese white. Chinese white is an opaque white that it's a gouache. And so it's shows up better. I like using it over my watercolors. Okay, so I zoomed in on this, but I cut the bottom part off, so sorry about that. But yeah, use a really fine brush. So this is a very fine synthetic brush I have right here, and it makes great dots. And with the white gouache, they really pop. You could also use white acrylic if you don't have the gouache, and it works just as good. Contrast is really important in your paintings, and so I'm looking at this here, and I put down some white on top of the indigo, and it just made the whole thing pop right off. Now, if you're having trouble figuring out your lights and darks, take a photograph of your piece, and in your app on your phone, change it to black and white, and you'll be able to see where your lights and darks are, which really helps. So you might have it looking all in the same sort of value, and you want to be able to go in there and darken up some spots and lighten some other spots up, and that will make it push-pull much more interesting to look at. It'll fix this ugly one up. Oh, I think this one needs a lot of help. I don't think so. Okay, well, so far, I like this one. I like this one and this one. Let's put some more gold there. All right, I've just squirted out some of this amazing gold that I have. It's actually an acrylic and it's Japanese. I'll list it in the description, but this stuff is awesome. It's so sparkly and you can see it goes on very easy. So I'm using a synthetic brush. It's a very skinny brush. I don't mix my brushes. So if you like doing watercolors, you keep your nice brushes nice by not putting acrylics on them. I prefer to designate certain brushes for my acrylics and some for my watercolors, and then I have some that are crossovers that I can use on both. But if you have natural brushes, do not use them for acrylics because it'll ruin the hairs. So here I'm just putting the gold all over the place, making little scrolly shapes, dots, dashes, whatever you can think of. And I'm using a dry brush method, so it's kind of skipped sometimes. Let's do this one. Oh, this one here needs help too. How about some gold up there? And let's do line up. There we go. Okay. Needs more than that. This gold is really gorgeous. All right. Well, I guess we'll just have to do some circles. Think like this. I jazzed it up. Okay, so next, what else can we play with? Try some of the gold directly on the white. See how that works. Yep, very pretty. Okay, I'm using one of my new golden maple brushes here, and it is a number 1. It's kind of small. They're synthetic, so they work fine for acrylics, but if you're using natural brushes, don't use them on your acrylics. All right, this has gotten a little bumpy. This is 140-pound paper I used, but it's still buckled. My favorite thing is like a 005. This is a tiny, tiny line. So let's see what we can do here. That big circle right here. That's different. Around here, it's a bit light. Need, how about an 02? Let's go over it with an 02. See what we got. Okay, that's kind of fun. These particular squares, I plan on cutting them up and gluing them on cards. So then there will be an original painting on a card. Just in case you're wondering what I'm going to do with them. All right, well, those are kind of weird. Let's do some tiny dots. Well, that's interesting. I like the tiny dots. Those are fun. What's some more over here? Okay. Well, that one's looking better. Yeah, I kind of like this. What's going on here? This looks like a shadow running across the center. Okay. And I'm going to go over the edges of this. Sort of an outline. Just for funsies. Going over that gold that I put down originally. It was a gold pen. I wasn't too crazy about it. Okay, so there's that one. I think I'm going to call that one done. It needs a dot. There, the dot. Oh, that doesn't matter because it's on the tape. Okay. Now I think, so far, I think this one is done. This may be done. We can do some dots there. How about some tiny dots right here? All right, very busy. And I think I'm going to darken this up with a bit more indigo. See what happens. Okay, good. All right, this one here, gotta think, kind of like it the way it is. I think we're gonna leave that one alone. This one's okay. This one I'm unsure of. This one might be okay too. This one has got gouache still drying. This is okay. I think I'm going to grab some black. Let's do some black lines. So I'm using the black in my skin tone set here. It's what is it? Lamp black. I don't usually use black in watercolors, but since we're using the indigo, this could give it a bit more oomph. Let's see, I'm going to go here. Just add a bit of black there. And maybe a little bit here. Okay. No, that's not bad. Okay. I think if we take it off the board and take the tape off, we'll probably get a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with. So maybe I will do that. Well, one more bit of black here. This mess. Yep, it's a mess. Well, you gotta have one that's a disaster, right? It's gotta be one that's not going to turn out quite as well as the rest. And I'm going to just go around the outside of the circle with some indigo. And go around this circle also. Yep, they look kind of messy. And I'm going to just do some lines, some brush lines right here. And then okay, let's take the tape off and see what we got going on here. All right, so pull your tape slow. Okay. This is actually artist tape that I'm using here. It's supposed to come off easily without tearing your paper. Sometimes it tears the paper. I'm not careful. Okay. And so far so good. Okay, so let's see. I have to go more careful on these so they're right down the middle. Nice and clean. That looks good so far. Looking good. Now we'll take this one. crisscross here. These make great cards. I sell little paintings like this in my gallery. Oh, no, it's okay. And sometimes I just glue them right on a card. And people love them. It's an original painting. You can also do it for your Christmas cards. You could do Christmassy colors and then buy the blank cards, cut them up, glue them on, and you've got original cards. I think it's so much nicer than buying printed cards from the drugstore. More personal and unique. Okay, so, yep, it's coming up pretty good. All right. Couple more to go. One more. Boy, I had a lot of tape on here. There's plenty of tape. Okay, last one. Dun, 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 dun. Masterpieces. Look at this. Oh, that one took up a little bit of the paper. Okay. Yeah, so if you rip it fast, there's the paper. The end part doesn't matter because it's going to be cut off. Okay, look at this. Hey, they look pretty good. So now I can turn it around and see what I got going on here. And maybe add some more, but can you see the gold? It's so beautiful. The gold is really pretty. And the ugly one actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, this is good. I like them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and go out and paint something. Have some fun. And I'll put the links in the description, what I used. And yeah, thanks for watching.